I'm Roger, I'm an addict. And I want to stand up here and tell y'all that I don't know nothing about this topic. Yeah, right. Anyway, first of all, I want to welcome anybody that's new and let you know that you're the most important person in this meeting, any Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And people pleasing. Well, I'm a people pleaser from way back, let's put it that way. I was people pleasing long before I ever knew what it meant. You know, way before in my active addiction. When I was a kid, I always had the low self-esteem and the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of not belonging and being a part of. So I had to do something to get people to like me, especially in school with my teachers, you know. I always felt like that little outcast little kid, see, because I had some things going on the inside that none of the other kids knew. You know, I don't know about any of y'all, but I'll get honest and, you know, when I was a little kid, I was a bedwetter, you know. I used to wet my bed. And I didn't want, you know, I thought that everybody in school would look at me and right away they knew that about me. So I had to do something to get people to like me because I didn't like myself. You know, I started out real young. I did it through high school. You know, when I was a junior in high school, I would go at night and steal a whole bunch of beer and bring it so the seniors could drink it. So they would consider me a friend. See, I was like real people pleasing even as a kid. You know, this behavior didn't start in Narcotics Anonymous. You know, let me tell you, like our disease goes way before the using. This started for me way back when I was a real young. When I came to Narcotics Anonymous, you know, I started hearing about people pleasing and I started hearing about this and, you know, at first, you know, we don't all come in here brimming, like it says, with honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. I came to Narcotics Anonymous with an attitude of indifference and intolerance, you know. I started using at the age of 13. At the age of 46, when I came to Narcotics Anonymous, I had that mask on. You know, I was that hip, slick, and cool individual that nobody could tell shit to. Nobody could show me nothing. Nobody could tell me a damn thing because I knew everything. And it was just a mask. So, like, I started, first of all, I started seeing the pretty women, right? You know? And, well, of course I wanted the women to like me, you know? So, I was wondering, they kept talking about recovery and steps and doing the right thing for the right reason and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even own a basic text. I didn't know where'd they get this shit from, you know? And they were all talking about a sponsor. And then I started hanging out with some guys and they were all talking about their sponsors and things like that. So, you know what, maybe if I got a sponsor also, you know, I would like fit in, be part of the club. Because for me, it was just a big club, you know, an organization. So, okay, you know, first of all, I bought a book, see, because I want to be like everybody else. I had, you know, carry a book like the kids in school and stuff. But then I fucked around and read it, man, you know. I bought a basic text on July 16th, 2000. That's my clean date. And then I screwed around and read it. And then the guys that I was hanging with, they had a sponsor and they talked about their sponsor. So I picked the same sponsor as they had. And, well, I felt like I was a part of, you know. They told me to do the 90 meetings in 90 days. Well, actually, my probation officer told me to do the 90 meetings in 90 days. They told me either go to meetings or go to jail, so I'll go to meetings. You know, I didn't come to Narcotics Anonymous because I saw the light, man. I came to Narcotics Anonymous because I felt the heat. And I came to a lot of meetings to impress my probation officer. And that's what started the cycle, the process. You know, I started to get I got a sponsor and I started to work steps and I started to be of service. I saw these people being of service, so I wanted to be part of the club, so I started doing of service. You know, and at first my behavior in Narcotics Anonymous was a lot of people pleasing. That's why I started doing all these things, because I always wanted to fit in, you know. And then I had found a group of people who thought like me, acted like me, did some of the shit that I used to do, but then if I wanted to be part of them, I had to do what they were doing. So I got a sponsor, started working steps, I started reading my literature, I started being of service. They told me if I wanted to be an alternate GSR, I said, sure. And then they said, well, we need a GSR. I'll do that too, you know. They said, we need to nominate a treasurer. No, you don't. I'm already here, you know. I wanted to do everything, you know. We had a smaller area in San Antonio, Courage to Change area, and we needed an H&I chair, and one of the women got nominated H&I chair, and they said she needed a vice chair, so I said I could do that. And we were so small, we needed an RCM. I could do that too. I bought every damn book that the fellowship made by then, and I started doing that. Well, see, that started to become like a higher power to me, doing those things every day on a daily basis. I didn't do the 90 meetings in 90 days. I did like 300 in 90 days. I'm here to let you know that I'm walking in my 9th year of recovery, and I still make a meeting every day if I can. Now, there's a meditation that talks about people pleasing, and I just wanted to say this. See this meditation right here? If you look between the lines, there's nothing there. A lot of people put some cut in our literature, because if you've been here a while, if you've been here for a few years, and it's out of your way to go pick up a fucking newcomer, but I do it, I'm people pleasing. You know what I'm saying? And that's some of the experiences that I've had in this fellowship, because I've been clean now coming up I'm walking in my 9th year, and I still pick up if I hear my phone at 3 in the morning, I pick it up. But the old timer that doesn't do that, I'm a people pleaser. I still go to a meeting a day on a regular basis unless my job pulls me from it. And if an old timer doesn't approve of that, then I'm a people pleaser. And that's some of the experiences that I've been having, personally, because I haven't stopped doing what worked in the beginning. It still feels good to go to a meeting every damn day if I can. When I started in this fellowship, I had the type of job where it was like from 7 to 5, 5 o'clock, I'm on my own. I used to make meetings. I used to make 4 or 5 meetings a day, 3 meetings a night, and all kinds of stuff, and today I have a different responsibility. I have a different type of job that requires me to work late sometimes. And sometimes, I'm okay with not making a meeting, because I'm not going to let Narcotics Anonymous take away from me what Narcotics Anonymous gave me. Narcotics Anonymous gave me the ability to be responsible, the ability to practice these principles in all our affairs, and I can't just quit my job because I need to go to a convention. I'm here today just because I want y'all to like me. No, bullshit. I'm here today because I made a commitment to the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous, man, to apply these principles in all my affairs. See, I have a purpose in life today. My purpose in life today is to stay clean and carry the message. See, our 12 steps says that we make ourselves visible and available. How am I going to help somebody if I'm not ever available? How am I going to help somebody if I just go to a meeting once a month just to grace y'all with my presence, It's real interesting, see, because the gentleman's not here today. I'm not going to break his anonymity, but there's a person, a sponsee brother of mine from Santa, and that's another thing that I get emotional. I'm sorry. What am I sorry for, right? There's a gentleman that's a member of my sponsee family, and he's been having some trouble staying clean. He just got out of detox yesterday, and he called me and asked me if he could come to this convention with me. And a lot of the people were telling me, "Oh man, if I were you, I wouldn't take him. I think he's still using, and he looked like he was nodding, and he looked like this, and he was that, and blah blah blah." And I called my sponsor and I said, "Man, sponsor, I hear all this shit." And he told me, he said, "Roger, you need to do what's in your spirit. You need to do what you feel is the right thing to do." And I said, "Man, well, you know what? I don't give a shit if he's nodding or what he's doing. I want to take him with me." He says, "Well, then you take him, Roger, because you never know. He might be sitting in a workshop at the Fort Worth area convention in the back of the room popping pills, and he might just wake up." He says he needs to know that no matter what happens, you're not going to abandon him. He told me, he says, "Roger, we don't turn our back on somebody just because they get loaded, man. Some people come to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous and they forget what it was like, man. Nobody walked into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous and we're just going to give you 5 years, We all walked in here with our heads dragging our ass dragging and our heads hanging, and then we get some clean time and we forget and we go back out. And just for that, we're going to turn our backs on this person." And I said, "No, you know what, you're absolutely right, because that's what I felt in my spirit, that I needed to bring him with me. It's not up to me to determine when he's going to stay clean or when he's going to get clean, but it's up to me to determine when, like, you know what, he's going to hear the message, you know. I'm going to be there for him regardless, man, no matter what happens, you know. And, you know, see, I'm real grateful for this process because, see, I'm one of those people that's not supposed to be here, you know. I'm one of those people that should have died years ago. My active addiction, we all have some of those stories, man, you know. I fell out of moving vehicles. I run over by a car. You know, I remember running down the streets and the mailboxes exploding next to me, and I didn't know why they were. That's because the bullets were hitting the mailboxes. They weren't hitting me on the back, you know. I fell off cliffs. You call it what you want, man. I know why I'm here today. See, I remember when I got clean and I told my sponsor, and I said, "Sponsor, God damn it, why am I still here? Why am I fucking alive today, man? What is it?" He says, "Roger, do you remember that life you had before you stopped using?" I said, "Well, yeah, I remember walking down the street with my head looking at the ground like I had lost something. But really, I was too ashamed to raise my head and look at the oncoming traffic, man." He says, "How do you feel today, man?" I said, "Man, I have a fucking purpose, dude. My purpose is to stay clean and carry the message, man, so that no addict need ever die, you know." And, like, I'm real grateful for that. And you know what? Like I said, a lot of people call it people-pleasing. And sure, there's a distorted security in hanging on to that familiar pain. I'm on a 6th step, by the way. That, like, sometimes I want to please somebody. But today I'm not acting irrationally. I'm not getting resentments because somebody doesn't like me. You know, today I can go on with my life. I can keep working my steps. I'm not going to go use because, oh, they don't like me. Oh, my God. Oh, well, I'm powerless. See, I've done a thorough first step. You know, I know exactly what I can do and can't do. And I'm not going to let personalities get in front of the principles of Narcotics Anonymous. Even though sometimes I gotta put principles before personalities, and I'm not talking about y'all's personality. I'm talking about my personality, because sometimes I think I'm right, you know. Sometimes I think that what I say should be the way, you know. But I have to understand that, like, I'm just another member, man. You know, I'm just another member, which today I'm not confused that the God of my understanding has given me a gift, man. You know, because, like, I've come from the depths of hell, you know. I used drugs for 32 years of my life. I people pleased all my life. I got resentments, like it talks about that. This pamphlet talks about how we ran around doing anything for anyone just to gain their acceptance and approval, and then would resent those who wouldn't respond the way we wanted them to. You know, I did that all my life, man. And I started in Narcotics Anonymous doing that also. But today there's a difference, man, in the things that I do. See, I'm not going to shine less in the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous so somebody else can shine more. See, I used to have a sponsor that, like, would tell me, "You don't need to go pick them up. They need to find their own way." I said, "You know what? If you don't want to go pick them up, you don't have to. I'm going to go pick them up, man." There was a young lady in our fellowship that when she was still a newcomer, she decided to go use, and something happened between her and her boyfriend was a sponsee brother of mine and still is today. And my sponsor told me, "You know what? You don't have to go pick her up anymore. It's not your responsibility." Man, you know what? Responsibility or not, man, she's suffering. Everybody turned her back on her. I'm not going to turn my back on her. And me and my ex-wife would pick her up, we'd take her to our house, she'd sleep, you know, we'd help her, we'd take her to meetings and do whatever we could, you know. And just the other day, she celebrated 6 years clean, man. You know, and I'm real grateful for that process, you know, because God has showed me that He's using me as an instrument, as a vessel, you know, as somebody to carry the message. You know, it talks about in this fellowship how we lead by example, man, rather than direction. You know, we're all rebellious by nature, man. You know, I used to have a sponsor that didn't give us direction. He gave us orders, you know. And being the newcomer that I followed those orders, you know. And at the time, that's what helped me stay clean. that's what got me through the times that I needed to stay clean. He became like a higher power to me because I did everything he did. I became of service. I mimicked what he said. Our home group would meet at 6, finish at 7. At 8 o'clock, I'd go to another group, and I'd share what he shared, Hell yeah, boy. Sounded good. These people would ask me, how much clean time you got? 6 months? God damn, dude. Where'd you pick that shit up from? I read my literature, man. I swear to God. See, that's what helped me stay clean. That's what got me to where I'm at today. See, but then after that, it was like there came a point in time in my recovery where I started to have to tell myself, you know what, it's time to stop talking shit and time to start doing shit. And that's what I do today, man. I'm not here today because I want to impress nobody. If you're new here today, I'm not standing up here on this podium because I'm better than any goddamn body. I'm up here today because I've been where you're at, man, and I found the way out, man. I'm recovering from a seemingly hopeless dilemma, man. The scum of the earth, the people that crawled up from under a goddamn rock, there is hope in this fellowship and life today. I people please at my job sometimes still because, I always wanted to be, my work is an outside issue, but the feelings that I get in my job, in like 1978, 1976, I was working with these people, man. They had these big old damn cranes, man. Had these big old 4 feet, 4 tires, and I work with these cranes, and I always wanted to be a big crane operator, but I could never stop using long enough to pass a piss test, And in 1975, the company that I had been working for 10 years, and they never gave me a piss test, they laid me off. And I thought, oh my God, what am I gonna do? That's all I know how to do, and blah blah blah. I ran a crane every once in a while, And my sponsor at the time told me, well, Roger, you're gonna have to do what normal people do when they get laid off. I said, really? What's that? We'll go look for another job, So I said, okay. So I went and I drove a taxi for about 6 months, and then I went and applied with this company that that's all they do is they run these big cranes. And they hired me, man. They said, can you pass a piss test? I said, well, yes, sir. I was smiling on the inside because they didn't know. They didn't know that back in the day I could never pass a piss test. So today, I'm a crane operator. I run a 50-ton hydraulic crane, man. I'm certified up to an 80-ton crane. And I people please because the other day, on July the 2nd, I fell out of my crane. I was climbing out of my crane and I fell down. I fell on top of a concrete barrier and I broke 4 ribs and 2 transverse processes in my spine. And the doctor told me that he had to put me on light duty. And then I told the doctor, light duty? I said, well, for about 2-3 weeks I'll be on light duty? And he looked at me, he says, man, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You got a broken back. I said, yeah, but my boss, I got no bullshit, your boss, man, I wanted to go back to work in 2 weeks, full duty and stuff, and they told me I couldn't. And I was feeling guilty, see, because I people please sometimes because I suffer from a disease of guilt. My mind manufactures guilt, shit that I'm not even responsible for. I want to take responsibility. Like my boss has about 30 to 40 cranes. And he's a millionaire, but if I'm on light duty, he might lose some money, You know what I'm saying? So I want to go to work, and I don't give a shit if my ribs are sticking up my side. I'm going to work for this company, man. I'm going to work for this man, But my recovery had to kick in and realize what the doctor told me. I told the doctor, yeah, doctor, but how can you make it better? And how can I do this? And he said, you're going to start getting arthritis in your back. I said, well, how do you make all that better? He said, I can't make you young again. I said, damn. Okay. But, I don't know how long exactly I'm supposed to last here. But I just know that I'm real grateful to be here, man. Narcotics Anonymous has given me a new way of life, and I just want to share with you how the God of my understanding works in my life. When I did a 3rd step and I made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God of my understanding, see, when we get to the yard in our cranes, we got to go refuel. And I went in, it was 3 in the morning, and I went and parked at the fuel pump, and the light on the crane wouldn't work, so I couldn't write the mileage down. And I thought my feet were killing me. I had been wearing the same boots for about 20 hours. And my flashlight was in my car about 300 feet away. And I said, oh, come on, God. I don't want to walk all the way to my goddamn car to get my flashlight, man. My feet are killing me. I want to go home. I can't leave the crane without refueling. What do I do? And I'm messing with the light and shit, and there's no light. I didn't have a flashlight. So I said, okay, God, if it's your will that I walk to my car and get my flashlight, man, tired as I am, feet are killing me, that's what I'll have to do. So I opened the door to get out of my crane, and the damn light went on. Yeah. So my name is Roger. Thank you for letting me share.
My name's Hope, and I'm an addict. Our next speaker is Ladonna. Is that correct? Miss Ladonna from Austin.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ladonna, and I'm an addict. And I'm a people pleaser. But that's all right, because there's hope today. I first of all just want to thank God, the God of my understanding, and the God of your understanding, for bringing us to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. I just want to thank God. I thank God for just the time that I have had being clean, and I like to thank the Fort Worth area for asking me to come here to take a risk on this dope fiend, to speak on a topic called people pleasing, something that I'm real familiar with, but I don't like to talk about, because it's something in that where there's some shame that I go through, because not only am I an addict, I'm a person who likes to appear that everything is okay. And by admitting that I'm a people pleaser, it kind of lets you know that there's some weakness in there, Ladonna, that you don't have it all together. And I thrive on this thing called my look good looking good. It's called a mask that I came here with, and after 14 years of being here, on any given day, pop goes the weasel. It'll rear its ugly head, and here we go again. And I was thinking to myself coming here that what are some of the characteristics of people pleasing in my life? And I was thinking, I said, if you cannot, Ladonna, say what you feel for fear of someone else getting mad at you, you might have a problem with people pleasing. And if you set a boundary and you break a boundary, Ladonna, you might have a problem with people pleasing. If you cannot address an issue that you feel strongly about, and you leave a situation knowing that, I'm going to say this, but when you leave, you got this chatter going on, I should have said, see, they don't know who I am. The next time I'm going to tell them. I'm talking about when I begin to have conversations in my head that I need to have with you, I just might be a people pleaser. When I think about maybe my children will get angry with me because I still carry some of the weight of active addiction or what I didn't do and how I didn't act. And if I just been that hymn sewing, cookie baking, Girl Scout going, window washing, Captain Crunch buying mothers, maybe everything would be all right. And I wouldn't have to make it up right now. So all of those are the elements of people pleasing in my life. If I'm in a relationship with you past the expiration date and I can't get out, I just might be a people pleaser. When I'm fucked up and you all right and I can't be all right with it, I just might be a people pleaser. I'm talking about this fellowship says we have one disease and many symptoms. And it's my job to get in touch with the symptoms. Because I don't know about you, it all can get me high. If on any given day I don't take care of myself and I refuse to look at the exact nature of my disease, then I could find myself back in a crack house with a pipe in my mouth. So I got to look at this thing called people pleasing because I'm a mother who has grown kids in a new family that I acquired in recovery. And I'm talking about when the grown girl needs to be grown and I can't let go because I'm still holding myself hostage for what I didn't do in the name of people pleaser. And just like the individual that shared before me, I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I'm the youngest kid by 10 years. So I was a lonely kid. I didn't have anybody in the house to play with me. So a lot of times I would let you play with my toys just so you wouldn't leave and I would have somebody to play with. So see, this thing goes back a long, long way. And for those of you all that don't know or you might want to guess, I'm 50 years old. So for me to stand here and say that I'm still people pleasing at 50 years old, there's some shame in that. There's some shame in that. Because at some point you want to get it right. At some point of my life, it's like, when is it going to stop? At some point, when can my no's mean no? When I begin to look at like how this thing affects my life on a daily basis, I need to let you know I'm in a certain amount of pain today. I need to let you know that this is real hard for me because people pleasing has manifested itself in my life. Most recently this year where I've lost a job. Last year I lost a car. Paying my daughter's bills and not paying my own bills. Because I don't want her to feel what she needs to feel to be all right with what's going on with her life at 25. Because, see, I still see the 7-year-old with the ponytails and not the 25-year-old that's making decisions for herself. So I don't want her to feel what she got to feel in losing her car. And my God has such a sense of humor. He's like, all right, then you can lose your car. Keep paying her bills. She don't have to feel it. You feel it. So there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. Because I want to make it about her, but it's really about me. Not wanting to sit still with those feelings long enough and watch God orchestrate everybody else's life. And Ladonna, check this out. It's not you. I'm talking about being a counselor by profession and teaching people different ways to live and then not being able to live that way on any given day in my life. So I come to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous because this is one of the places where I can come and be my perfectly imperfect self and say, guess what? I don't have it right. I'm still working on this thing. That at 14 years clean, I'm still working on some stuff that I wanted to get right at 1 year clean. Tried to get it right by the time I had 3 years clean. Was rushing to get it right by the time I had 6 or 7 years clean. And at 14 years, I'm still struggling with it because I don't know about y'all. As soon as I begin to get some relief in an area, I stop working on it. All right. You know, I'll stop working on it. As soon as it begins to feel a little bit better, I'll feel like I'll just let this go. Or I'll start working on something else. So when I look at this people-pleasing thing, I look at the fact that and I want to read a couple of things. One of the things that I want to share is out of our Just for Today meditation. And it says, sometime recovery gets downright difficult. It can be even more difficult to get humble enough to ask for help. We think I have all this clean time, I should be better than that. But the reality of recovery is simple. Whether we have 30 days or 30 years clean, we must be willing to ask for help when we need it. Humility is a common theme in our 12 steps. The program of Narcotics Anonymous is not about keeping up appearances. Instead, the program helps us get the most from our recovery. We must be willing to lay bare our difficulties if we expect to find solutions to problems that arise in our lives. There's an old expression sometimes heard in Narcotics Anonymous. We can't save our face and our ass at the same time. It isn't easy to share in a meeting when you have a number of years clean, only to dissolve into tears because life on life's terms has made us realize our powerlessness. But when the meeting ends and another member comes up and says, you know, I really needed to hear what you had to say, we know that God is working in our lives. The taste of humility is never bitter. The rewards of humbling ourselves by asking for help sweetens our recovery. And I need to talk about the solution for a minute, because I do all of those things, not so much. And I was listening to Roger talk about the service commitments and being basically a service junkie, been there, done that. And I still answer my phone in the middle of the night. I don't think that has anything to do with people pleasing. No, I think that has everything to do with being a committed member of Narcotics Anonymous and not forgetting where I came from. And so therefore I got to know that fine line between people pleasing and what is just the right thing to do. And what I know is that some things that someone else, your definition of people pleasing may not be my definition of people pleasing. But what I have to know is when I leave a situation and I'm feeling bad about it and I can't get on the other side of it, I might just need to take a look at it. What I know today is that I have to ask for help. One of the things that have brought me into this new level of being committed to addressing my people pleasing, because I need to let you know, when they called me from, when you all called me to share here, and they said my topic was people pleasing, I'm like, this is a setup. Somebody's been talking, this is a setup. This is some setup shit. Have I ever seen it? This is some setup shit right here. I'm not ready to talk about that. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to give about a month and I'm going to call them and tell them I can't do this. I'm not going to do it. But what I knew in my heart of hearts, that the God of my understanding is right on time. That way deep down on the inside of me, there's a little girl that needs to grow up. There's someone on the inside of me that's like needing to learn a new way to live. Because right now, when it comes to addressing the things in my life, I'm like a newcomer. I lost a job in March by doing some things that I shouldn't have done. I'm a licensed counselor, and a client needed some help. And I let that woman stay in my house. And as a direct result of that, I lost my job. But by the grace of God, I didn't lose my license. So I need to let you know, when I say that this people-pleasing thing has caused me some pain, it's caused me some pain. And I need to tell you that it's difficult to talk about those things in my life where it's uncut and I have to stand before this fellowship naked. But what I know is that's how we get better. And for a number of years, I was sponsored by a male, and here recently it's like and he was a wonderful person that took me through the steps. And if you a newcomer in here, don't try it. But I need to let you know that here recently I've needed some help. And I've needed some help that only a woman can give me. Because, see, I don't know about you all, I'll hide behind my recovery. I've been a single female for about 7 years. And the worst thing for a people pleaser is to be in a relationship. In February, I found myself in a relationship, and on any given day, I feel like I'm losing my mind because I don't. It's almost like I'm a little kid that can't stand up for herself. Because I don't want to make you mad. I don't want to rock the boat. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all I was raised by an alcoholic. So some of this stuff I learned as a little kid. Don't rock the boat. Mommy's not feeling good this morning. She haven't got her drink on yet. So when you learn how to tiptoe as a kid, you keep tiptoeing. See, my mother's been gone since 1991 and I'm still tiptoeing. I still don't want to upset things. I don't care whether it's my boss or my man or my kid. I'm just tiptoeing. And it's killing me. It's killing me because I know with all my healthiness that nothing is right when you muzzle yourself and you don't say what's really on your mind. I'm going to tell you the worst thing about a people pleaser. A people pleaser is a liar. I'm talking about when I don't agree with you and I don't tell you I don't agree with you. I just let it go. And after a while you let it go and you let it go and you let it go, and then one day you just break. And everybody looking at you like, she crazy. She crazy. She nuts. That's what I told you she was nuts. I told you she was nuts. You know what I'm saying? And then really on the inside, all you just wanted to come out. You just want to say it. And for people who don't have this issue, they're like, just say it. Do you know what it takes for me to address something? I'm like having conversations in my head, looking in the mirror, driving down the street, talking to myself, people next to you looking at you like, oh, she's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's that gut-wrenching fear. I may not be just that fear. Because I don't want to make you mad. I don't want to make you mad. I'm talking about having an issue when you asking for money or a raise or something you feel is due to you and you can't ask for it. Because it's just like dealing with my mother one more time. So see, this thing called people pleasing is real difficult for us that have it. And if you don't have it, you probably don't understand it. But if you have it, you understand it. And then don't begin to admit you have it, because everything you do, you got to watch out for the spirit busters, man. Because when you start to get, oh, you just people pleasing. See, that's your issue again. You got to be real careful who you share your stuff with. Because the same, man, you got to be real careful who you let know your issues. You know, and I'm talking about this thing for me is like so sacred. This is on the inside. I just got to a place where it's like, when it came up on my out in my 6-step list of defects, it was like, well, what's wrong with a little people pleasing? Ain't nothing wrong with people pleasing. Because I was also taught etiquette in my household. My alcoholic mother was real big on doing things the right way. So you tiptoe. See, I was born in the 50s, so there's certain things you just don't do. Never let them see you sweat. Don't say you don't like it. Somebody gives you a gift and you don't like it, just smile and take it. And I'm talking about all that stuff becomes a working part of you. See, I came from people that would see you and say, you know what, I can't stand that bitch. I wish you wouldn't come over. Hey, baby, what's going on? Hey, girl, what's happening? And then the person leave. I told you she ain't nothing but. See, I was raised like that. So I was taught to dance. I was taught to do your dance, not my dance. And I made a decision this year that I'm going to do my dance. And I'm going to dress this thing no matter what. I'm tired of doing everybody else's dance. I want to do my dance. And you don't necessarily have to do my dance. Just let me do it. You know what I'm saying? So when I begin to, and looking at this thing and acknowledging it, they said being an addict was the first honest admission that I had made after 27 years. I'm an addict. Guess what? I didn't want anybody to know I was a people pleaser. I didn't want to be. That would not have come out of my mouth. A year ago, I would not have shared on this topic because I couldn't get that honest about who I was. I'm talking about you might have seen it was like peeing on yourself. I feel it and you see it. But I didn't want to talk about it. Because if you don't talk about it, you don't have to deal with it. If you don't deal with it, you don't have to change anything. Let's just keep this thing the way it goes. Right. And as a direct result of that, people in my life have stayed sick. I haven't been able to have a healthy relationship at all in my life. Not ever. Because I'm dancing. I'm just dancing. And so when I look at like what has to change, that little girl has to grow up. It's time to do some stuff real different. I'm talking about some painful stuff. I wish I could tell you, I was listening to Roger, I wish I could tell you I'm on the other side. I don't know how it's going to look. All I know is I'm standing on the corner, and I know I got to go around the corner. They say, Ladonna, if you go around the corner, you're going to have some peace of mind. You're going to have some good things are going to happen to you if you just go around the corner. There's harmony around the corner. There's love around the corner. But guess what? Have you ever stood on the corner and know there's something around there for you, but you're too scared to go? So that's all about my vertical relationship being out of line. Because if my vertical relationship was in line, then I don't have to worry about my horizontal. My vertical relationship is my relationship with the God of my understanding. So what I'm talking about is when I get that lined up, it don't matter. It don't matter whether you don't talk to me or you do talk to me. It doesn't matter whether you love me or you don't love me or my daughter is still mad because I was a dope fiend. It don't matter because my vertical relationship is in line. And I've been putting all this energy in the horizontal, and the horizontal changes from day to day. And now I want to do that spirit work so my vertical can line up and be what it's supposed to be. Because y'all told me in the first step, when you admit it, that's where you gain power. By admitting that you are powerless, Ladonna, and your life is unmanageable. And I don't know about y'all, but that works over and over and over again, not just with the dope, it just works. That's the beauty about our steps. They just work. They just work. So once again, I'm in a newcomer stance because I'm doing something I have never done before. And that's getting in touch with the me nobody knows, not even me. And that's a hard pill for a 50-year-old woman to say that I got to get to know me one more time. And then ask someone, will you help me? Because I'm so tired of this. I'm just as tired of the people pleasing as I was the dope. Because it just keeps coming back. One disease, many symptoms. And then you find yourself in a position where people know you have it, so they just walk on you. She ain't going to do nothing no way. She ain't going to do nothing no way. She ain't going to put me out. She ain't going to leave. She ain't going to quit. And you begin to believe it yourself. I ain't going to quit him. I ain't going to leave him. I ain't going to stand up. So just for today, I need to let you know, Narcotics Anonymous, I'm working on my vertical relationships so my horizontal relationships can get better. That this still is a one day at a time proposition. That just for today I'm learning who I am all over again, and that's the beauty of this journey. That it's forever changing, and there's always something that I can get out of this. And I think my time is about up, and I'd like to tell y'all to thank you for listening. That this is a fellowship where any addict can stop using. They told me using means to exploit selfishly. So if you using dope or whether you using people pleasing, because let me tell you this before I leave, it's a payoff in people pleasing. See, it's a payoff. We don't just do stuff for nothing. We don't just do stuff for nothing. Let me get to that before I close. You know what I'm saying? If you a people pleaser, you getting something out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's something in it for you. Because we also good manipulators. Or we think we are anyway. You know what I'm saying? So this is a fellowship where any addict can stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live. Thank you for letting me share.